Welcome to Puro Pinche Sports. I'm your host, Garza, and tonight I'm here with the sports mailman. We're ready to talk about some sports. My man, Joe Casillas, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. Just another daily grind in the postal life, and then being a dad, and then sports all wrapped into one. We're in postseason basketball right now, so it's some of the greatest, times in the city right now with Spurs basketball back in the playoffs.
It is. It absolutely is. I mean, what are we going to talk about, Joe? I mean, the fact is, that looking behind you, looking behind me, our sports team, the San Antonio Spurs, has now advanced to the second round. We are feeling good today.
Oh
And
yeah, for
man,
sure. I think I need to go get some fireworks, man, and start popping them during the live right now.
here's not a safe thing to do inside your home, Joe.
No, just get the little poppers with the things going out like that.
There you go. There you go.
Do New Japan style when they throw all
Absolutely.
the ribbons and stuff.
Absolutely. Our boy Angel's in the house. What's going on, man?
Got to
Love to
make
see it,
burner accounts
Angel.
now.
Do whatever you need to do, Angel. Just be you. Stay subscribed, always. But nah, bro. I mean, rate me 1 to 10. We've already in like a week and a half into the playoffs. How are you feeling about the playoffs overall from what you've seen?
Um, it's surprising me how competitive it's been and how like these teams are like wanting to like scrap with each other. In the Spurs and Portland series, like they're going at it the other night. I know the Rockets and the Lakers are going at it with each other. Of course, when Dylan Brooks is in the series, he's gonna get scrappy with somebody, and then of course the Joker against the Wolves, they're going at it with each other. So that's what I'm most happy to see because I hate kind of like the friendship warrior type thing where everybody we're friends, this and that. I'm like, bro, if we're playing against each other, like we could be friends off the court, but whenever we're playing against each other, we're going to battle. Simple as that.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look, I want to see competitive. I want to see fights. For most part, you have seen it. Um, let's be honest. Talking about the OKC and Suns matchup, that wasn't really competitive, but not because the Suns can't do it. It's just they're overly outmatched by
No,
OKC.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
it doesn't help that the refs are in the back pocket too, because a lot those calls, man, or like really. Like the one they called, I don't know if it was against Devin Booker or if it was against Brooks when Caruso like acted like he got hit in the face or like some of these other calls, man. I'm like, how are you flopping on defense? Or like I don't get how you like some of these calls that they're getting. I'm like, bro, I'm like, y'all should be getting that call like if you're a full-time like superstar legend for a couple years, not 2, 3 years in type of thing. Cause it's surprising to me like how a lot of these like analysts or like people I see on different pods are like, are we seeing a dynasty in Oklahoma City or can we call it that? I'm like, bro, they've only won one. They were anointing them at the beginning of the season that they were gonna break the Warriors record. That didn't happen. So we gotta wait and see. They're the defending champs for a reason, don't get me wrong. But that's why we play the playoffs.
I mean, look, I'll say this. I'm not gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be like superstar dynasty champions. We don't know yet. They haven't hit two in a row for us to really start that. You're right. But what I'll say is they're still really good competitively wise. Like the problem is I feel like everyone's so focused on whether it's their flopping, whether it's foul baiting, or how the refs officiate their games. I get it. It could be frustrating, and probably if the Spurs, our team sees them in the conference finals, it'll be frustrating for us too. But the thing at the same time is that's just the nature of the game. Some
Oh yeah.
teams for decades have been doing that. LeBron James, he used to, I mean, he flops still even to this day to get calls. James Harden, Kevin Durant, hook arms all the time. I mean, Manu Ginobili, we love our guy, but he flopped too, bro. Like this game is always advancing, always exploring. If the Thunder
Yeah.
got a way to do it, then so be it. Like that's just the nature of the game. It's on the officials to not call it at that point, but it's not really
Yeah.
like I get your frustration. Everyone's frustrated with that. I know all the people I know are frustrated with it, but I mean, I think there's just other ways to look at it because when the Warriors were coming up, I think people were starting to give them dynasty talk after their first win too, right?
Yeah.
But they were to hold it up because their style was unique and different at the time. But what the Thunder are doing right now, it's ugly, it's grindy. You don't, not a lot of people don't respect it, but that's just the
Yeah,
nature of the game. And until like other teams like adjust to it, or the refs stop swallowing the whistles, we just can't really complain about it. There's not much you can do. I mean,
no,
look at our guys. We played them 5 times this year. We didn't really let the officials be a problem in it because we were
yeah,
disciplined not to foul. So at least not as much as other people, do. So it
yeah.
could
Look,
be that too.
luckily with the Spurs, I think they lead the league or top like one of the top teams to not foul. So that's the good thing with them. And then you have a lot of guys who can defend multiple positions. So
Yeah.
that's what's real helpful for them. I see like going forward, like I don't want to automatically look forward to this series and think, oh, we're gonna just automatically win. Depending on if we get the Nuggets, if they can come back to win, or if the Timberwolves can close it out. But the thing with the Timberwolves, unfortunately, DiVincenzo will be out all the next season and the rest of the playoffs, and then Anthony
Mm-hmm.
Edwards, we don't know when he'll be back. So they're two of their top shooters and two of their top players are going to be out for at least game. Well, Edwards, he's going to try to get on the court, like if he can, but I wouldn't recommend that at all.
I mean, it's gonna be tough. It sucks because whoever the Spurs play, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, they got a lucky easy road. The Nuggets are hurt. The Wolves are hurt." It's
Yeah.
basketball. It happens. We didn't control shit. I do want to see Anthony Edwards back on the court if they do advance. They play tomorrow. Who do you think right now wins Game 6? You think the Jokic and Nuggets turn it around and make the Wolves choke a 3-1 lead, or what do you think's gonna happen, bro?
I think how's the Aaron Gordon situation? Like, how is he supposed to play possibly? Because I know he missed this past game.
Let's
So
see. Look at his status. Uh, he looks like he's gonna be good to go for tomorrow. He's
yeah,
listed as
if
questionable.
I think if he plays, I'm like he's their X factor. He makes them championship contenders when he's playing. Like I know he hasn't been healthy all year, but just him out there, I think it gives a like Jokic to kind of relax a little bit more, knowing like, all right, like I don't have to like man the paint so much. Like I have a guy who can guard multiple positions and stuff, and kind of control that as well. One less thing for Jokic on his plate. So if he's playing, regardless of what his health status is, I think the Nuggets will tie it up and force it back to, if I'm not mistaken, Denver Game 7 this weekend.
That'll be interesting. I think Game 7 is supposed to be scheduled for Friday. No, for Saturday.
Either Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, so I mean it'll be interesting. I'll look it up right now. I have it right here.
Yeah. So
If Game 7
if
happens, it's Saturday. Okay.
yeah, so I was talking. So I deliver at the Frost Bank Center, and the guys were talking to me, telling me if Minnesota does somehow win, that possibly the start of the second round will be this weekend. Or if not, if it goes to Game 7, we wouldn't see it till maybe Tuesday, possibly.
Monday or Tuesday for sure.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one, but we'll see, man. I mean, it all depends. A lot of games are going on right now. What non-Spurs related series has been your favorite to watch so far?
The one that I've been favorite to watch, honestly, man, I wanted to see was is the Lakers and the Rockets. It's just surprising that the Lakers are up 3-0 or 3-1 now, and because
Yeah.
old man LeBron looked old in this past game, and I don't know what's going on. KD bone bruise, ankle. I don't know if he's just fed up with the way everything has gone down in Houston already after one season, making burner accounts, stuff like that. That was the series I thought the Houston should be able to handle it, no doubt. No Austin Reeves, no Luca.
Yeah.
Like I think majority of all of us picked the Rockets. I
Oh
think
yeah.
when we did our reviews, and it's just surprising to me the way this Rockets team is looking. Like it just looks like they went into a ball and like they didn't. They're not looking like the team that has the better roster right now.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because I think going into the season after how good they were last year, you were thinking Houston's going to be a really good top team. You got a really good coach in Emil Doka. You got rising star and Amen Thompson. Upper Sengun has been looking real good before this season. And then you add on a guy like Kevin Durant, and you're just thinking, okay, this looks like a real top contending team. And then they get into the season. Fred Van Vliet gets hurt, during the offseason, and then it's just not the same. And so let me ask you this, Joe. If, let's say, for example, tonight the Rockets are eliminated, right?
Mm.
Are we looking at a situation where Kevin Durant doesn't come back as a main thing, or Ime Udoka's out the door?
I think I think Ime. I think because he was here the year before, and you could see like the wheels were in motion for how this team can look going forward. I just think Kevin Durant, like he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a guy who's gonna get you buckets until he's 40 years old or whenever he decides to retire. But it threw a wrench into this progression. I think of all these young guys that they had. You get rid of Jalen Green, you get rid of some of these other guys that they had, and Dylan Brooks,
Mm.
and you kind of throw off how they were building organically. I felt like this is why sometimes you shouldn't always just move your young guys just because like they didn't produce in the playoffs like right off the back. Like because I remember last season in the playoffs, Jalen Green went and disappeared, and that's why I was like, don't do it. Like keep your young core, keep your young guys together, and try to build
So would
organically.
you would have kept Jalen Green in this situation?
I would have kept them in the situation because are you gonna if you got Kevin Durant, were you gonna win a title? I didn't think so. I didn't think they were gonna win a championship.
But I
Uh,
think you're less likely to win a title with Jalen Green. But I'm interested by this.
I'm just thinking about it at the forefront because you build organically. A lot of these teams that do build organically end up winning the championship nowadays. Like you look at Oklahoma City, they built organically. It wasn't like they went and traded for a mega superstar. The Bucks years ago with Giannis and all those guys that they had, they won it organically. If I'm looking at it like some of these teams that have won for the most part, it's been organically. The Nuggets a couple years ago organically, in Boston organically. I look at it like that. When was the last time you saw a team in the past, maybe the Lakers in the bubble, if
Yeah.
you can consider that, have won a title. Other than that, all these other teams now have been grinding it out organically and been winning like that. So I was looking at it like that, like you 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 overachieved with the way the team was with Jalen Green, all these other guys.
Hmm.
Like I didn't think they were gonna make the playoffs. I didn't think they were gonna look how they looked. And now you throw Kevin Durant in the mix. Now it accelerates everything. And some of these guys have not been on that stage where it's like, all right, I got Kevin Durant next to me now. Now my game has to propel to another level now. Because before it's like, all right, we're growing, we're gonna get growing pains, stuff like that. Now it's like, all right, Kevin Durant's here. Oh well, we need to try to make a finals run now.
Yeah. I mean that is an interesting take. You're right because most teams recently have it organic teams, but the thing is too, when you're looking at how they were drafting and how they were structuring the team, Jalen Green was not playing to the point where you can keep it around for long term. He's a guy that fits well kind of right now with Phoenix because they don't have a lot of like big time
Yeah,
shooters or anything like that. So there's more room for it. But when you got guys coming in growing like a Sengun or an Amen,
yeah,
those guys are like developing well to where like those guys are your 1 and 2 guys. Jalen Green wanted to be the one, but he's more like a 3 or 4.
yeah,
So it for me it was hurting their structure because even look at last like playoffs. Jalen Green started out hot. He had that one really good game where he was like 35 and nothing or whatever it was, and then he just disappeared the rest of the series.
yeah,
And it's like that's who we're gonna be paying money to. Because I think he was
yeah,
also on a contract there too. That's who we're gonna trust like to moving forward to go with. And I'm like, I think Houston was like, nah, I can't trust this guy. I think you're right. They should have probably gone all in for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, we've seen how it is. After his Golden State days, he has not been playing well enough. He's not a leader. He's not this
yeah,
guy to influence the whole team, to put them on their back and such like that. So I think getting Kevin Durant was the mistake. Had they gone a different route, let's say for example, had they gone for a Giannis, had they gone
yeah,
for something different that a guy that's still hungry that wants to just like go and win, I think that would have been a different story. I think that would have been the right call. But look at it this way. Remember how we probably I know I didn't like it, but I know you probably didn't like it either when Pop tried to make Jeremy Sohan into a point guard.
yeah. Yeah,
The-
the previous season, I looked at it like, well, what do we have to lose? Because I already knew at that last season, I was like, I didn't expect us to really go anywhere just yet. And then we didn't know how Steph Castle was going to look at all last season, and he ended up becoming
no,
the rookie of the year. So it
right.
was,
But the reason I bring that up is because after Fred Van Vliet got hurt, they tried to make Amen Thompson the point guard. He was
Yeah,
never a product point guard guy. He was a shooting guard, small forward type guy because of his size, his lengthiness. He's a wing player, and
yeah,
so they're trying to make him something that he's not. And so when you try to force him into something, it kind of brings in the divide. It kind of takes the guy out of his element. This team
yeah,
didn't structure enough to have a great point guard. Reed Shepard can't defend for shit. Sure, he can play
no,
offensively, but where's the fundamentals? Where's the defense? I mean, he gets blown by uh, more than a fucking tree that's just standing on the damn street or in a fucking house, you know. So I don't know. I think this team just needed to get more structured. Um, we'll see what they do. I think if they have talks to where they don't want to bring back Ime Udoka, I think that's a huge mistake
yeah, no, yeah,
because
because he's a building block. If he didn't get in trouble in Boston, what happened over there? He was a good building block coach over there in Boston because I remember he came over after Brad Stevens had said, you know what, I'm gonna move up upstairs, and Ime became the coach over there. And I think he had them on the cusp of going to the finals. And then he gets fired, and then Joe Mazzulla goes. And so you see, he's a good coach. He was in the pop tree. You see the kind of like the way he is. You see, like he was in the pop tree. You see how he is with his players. He's hard on them, but they respect him. You can see that, like how he has the team. But I don't know if, like, because Kevin Durant, he is his own animal. He's his own person. And if he feels certain ways, he's not going to put up with certain things. That's why whenever he decided to leave Golden State, I know they were trying to talk to him to stay. He's like, nah, I'm out of here. Whenever Brooklyn, I'm out of here. Phoenix, I'm out of here. So that's the thing. Like, some of these guys, like, don't get me wrong, they're good on the court, but
yeah,
maybe not good fundamentally sound for your team. Because look how some of these teams are, like Oklahoma City. Say what you want, they might be corny and stuff, but they look like a team first, a family atmosphere. The Spurs, family atmosphere. Boston, like family atmosphere. So you have to be willing to, like you might not always get the best guys for your team, but get the guys that are gonna fit well with your team now. Because, like, I remember last season or in the off season when we brought in Luke Cornett, and I was like, Luke Cornett, like, really? Like, that's who we're signing? And he's a good piece to the puzzle. Like, some of these guys that they brought in, now you're seeing, like, this is why some of these GMs are GMs in the first place. You might not always see the vision. You can't just always think, oh, well, let me just get the best players, and I'm always gonna win. That's not always the case.
no, absolutely not. But hey, good talk on that one. Let me ask you this: since we're talking about switching it up and changing things around, Cleveland. Cleveland's a team that's playing right now. They're in Game Five against Toronto, a very close matchup. We know, but they're a team that has Donovan Mitchell, what some people consider a top 10 player today. They got James Harden, a guy they consider top 5 shooting guard all time. You got a young Evan Mobley that a lot of people like. Some people crazy enough debate that they think he's better than Ted Duncan. I don't know where y'all coming
Oh,
from with this
I don't know.
bullshit. But well,
Yeah.
anyways, they have a good structured team that they just can never seem to get over the hump. I don't know how the series will go. We'll see. But is Cleveland a team to worry about moving forward? Like, do we have to like destroy it and rebuild back up? What's going on? Why can't this Cleveland team that has like a guy like Spider Mitchell never overcome like the odds? How are they struggling with the Toronto Raptors with all this talent? Is is beyond me right now, respectfully.
Well, I don't even think that the Cleveland has the best player in this series to begin with, and that's just me. I think Scotty Barnes is probably the best player in this series.
Ooh, talking chip,
And
brother. I love it.
yeah, that's how I see it. Like, he's a guy who could take over on both sides of the court. I just think nowadays you need a guy who can kind of have a little bit of everything. He can defend a little bit, shoot, score a little bit. And Donovan Mitchell, don't get me wrong, he can light it up. But defensively, you're not putting him on your best player, whoever is on the opposite side. James Harden, same thing. So your two best players cannot be liabilities on defense. So then Evan Mobley is
Mm,
gonna have to weather more of the load. What's the other guy's name? With the fro,
Jared
can't think of.
Allen.
Jared Allen, another guy
Yeah.
that's gonna have to weather more of that defensive load. So you got to look at it like that. Like, a lot of these teams are still looking in the past, or it's just like, oh, offense, offense, offense. But you can steadily start seeing it's starting to change a little bit where you need some defense in here. You can't just expect offense all day long. Like, your best players have to have some form of defense. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, you see it with OKC. Say what you want about Shea, good defender. over the past couple of years, he's kind of lessened. Chet Holmgren, good defender, he could score. The Spurs with Castle and Wemby, you don't have to, with Boston with Tatum and Brown, they can defend. So you got to look at it like that. This new age of NBA that's becoming, you have to upgrade with the times. And unfortunately, Cleveland, I feel like is stuck in the early 2010s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. It might. They're in a weird spot because they have the talent. They just never seem to be able to get over the hump. Like Spider Mitchell has never gotten past the second round, which is crazy to
Yeah.
say. Very young, talented young
I
player,
feel like
and
he's
never
our age. This age is Tracy McGrady. I feel like that's how he is.
without the like pure skills of Tracy.
Yeah.
Um, that's crazy. I'm looking right now. The Pistons are up at least by 9 against the Magic, so that game's gonna be close to the end as well. Let's talk a little bit about our Spurs before we
Uh,
end the basketball talk. Obviously, we've advanced. We talked about the OKC Thunder; they've advanced as well. Um, you saw us. What was your thoughts on the first round matchup? Was it a good one? Was it what we need to get our feet wet into the playoffs? Because we have nothing but inexperienced guys except for Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox and Luke
yeah.
Cornett. Those are the most experienced guys of the whole with playoff experience, I should say, of the whole roster. How did you feel about our first round matchup in general?
I liked it, but I didn't like the lulls that we had, and especially in this past game, and then when we came back in well, between game two and game five, I didn't like the lulls where we will kind of get stagnant and just kind of throw the ball around. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like how the offense would look. Once we would get up with the lead, then we'll kind of just be lax. You can't be like that in the playoffs. Like, unfortunately, Portland does not have the firepower, to compete fully with the Spurs. So you could see that, but you have to, like, if you have a kill shot, take the kill shot. Do not play around. That's why they ended up losing game two after Wemby did go down. But there was no reason why they should have swept wholeheartedly. They should have not gotten to a game five. They should have swept this past week on Sunday against Portland, in Portland. But I liked it because we were gonna go up against a familiar foe in
Mm-hmm.
Tiago Splitter. So Tiago, he's another guy under the pop tree. So he's gonna know what's going on. And if you watch some of the highlights, he was calling out the plays to his players, like this is what they're running, like, and he was calling it out. And unfortunately, they couldn't really stop it as much. But I like the atmosphere. I like them like jawing at each other, fighting back and forth. You could see
Mm-hmm.
it. You could see it. Like, Wemby's is a savage, man. I remember seeing everybody shake hands, and he didn't want to shake Danny's hand at all. It was crazy. But
Yeah.
Castle and Danny did shake hands and, like, I guess, squash the beef.
Nah, after that, we don't need to squash nothing. We just squash their hearts and spirits. That's all I care about.
Yeah, no, it was funny, man. It was funny how the fans, saw him get the chip tooth. I don't know if you saw the tooth in the
Yeah.
with the jackals, and like them holding up Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber with the tooth and everything. Like,
Let
that
me
was,
see. Let me see if I can pull that up because that shit was hilarious to see, bro.
yeah,
Nah, man. I mean, look. I mean, I'll say it. I mean, look. They played well. They did their thing. I think it was good for us because, like I said, we do have the inexperience. So it was good to see that we went in there and we fought with them. So I didn't mind that at all. But um, and I like the fact that we got a guy like Denny to play with, not because I think like he's an all that player, because I really don't. I don't think he's like all that player, but he's a guy you're gonna see in the playoffs, a guy that's gonna be driving in, trying to get the foul, grab your
yeah.
jersey and all that shit. And that's what basically what's it called? You're gonna see in OKC. You're gonna see a
Well,
bunch of that.
if Vance help if somehow is able to win, or you know, so you're gonna see that going down the stretch. So you have to, like, be ready for it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you're gonna see that, then it is what it is. But hold on, let me get this. There you go. That's much better. Let me see if you can see this, so everyone can see it. It was part of the game last night. Chip tooth, chip tooth,
And he
chip
already got it.
tooth.
And he already got it fixed. It was funny seeing it. I was like, damn, bro, like, what dentist did you go to so fast?
No, I'm pretty sure they found the piece and they. I don't even think they really like. I'm pretty sure they just removed it and they glued it back together and shit like that. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not a dental. personnel and all that shit. But no, I thought it was good. You're right that we probably shouldn't have lost that game too. But you also got to think like the players probably a little mentally. They're like, damn, I hope Wim's okay, man, because he knocked himself out. That shit was he
No,
was out
it
cold.
was
Like,
it was bad, man. I remember he got up and he looked like he didn't know where he was at. But
mm-mm.
you're up 14 in the fourth, and I was thinking like, oh, we're good. And then I just see them like start throwing the ball. That's the one thing that I always worry about with them throughout this season. They would get in lulls where they're just throwing the ball all over the place, and I'm like, bro, slow down, because I know they like to go fast. That's how this NBA is on offense, like fast pace, fast pace, fast pace. But especially in the playoffs, you kind of need to slow it down sometimes. Got to run some offense, run some plays, stuff like that. Because a lot of times you just see them running up and down, and it's like, all right, we're gonna find an open shot, open player on the wing, something. But just during the playoffs, because a lot of these teams are gonna try to slow it down on you, and you're gonna have to get in some half court defensive sets or half court offense for them and together. So they have to do that going forward.
No, I enjoyed the fact that we got to see a little mix up in every game. Like there was games where we sat out Harrison Barnes. We didn't give him as much time, but we gave more time to Carter Bryant. He brought up that little energy, that little jackrabbit energy
Yeah.
kind of needed on defense, like and on offense as well. I like the situations where we had obviously Cornette step up, in the games that when
Oh,
he
in game
missed
three.
game
In
three,
game
and
three
even
was huge the way he played.
yeah, because that his rebounding, his intensity was important for us. I love Dylan Harper. Obviously, he came in game three, came in, and Stefan Castle, hot, young blooded, put the team on their back and said, "We're not losing this one in Portland." And they got the whole shit, going through. So I
Oh
love
yeah.
that they had their moments. The Aaron Fox, where a lot of like the Spurs fans like to give them.
He's
Some
been
people
he's been
say
clutch these past couple games.
and he needs to be more consistent. That's the one thing I will agree with people. He needs to be more consistent. But this is why you brought him in. This is why you traded for him. For what these last two games, how they were, how close knit they were, and how much we needed him at the end. That's what you brought him for. But that's where he needs to stay consistent. Respectfully, he has the more pressure from the Spurs fans than anyone else on the team. Not Vic, not Castle, not Harper, because they're young. Those guys are 3 years or less experience on the team. Fox, he's been in the NBA for 9 years. This is his
Yeah.
first series win. We need him to go out there and play ball. He is clutch player of the year a few years ago. He needs to step up. I loved what he did last night. I love what he did in game four. Great shit right there. Devin Vassell, very good, very consistent. Keldon Johnson, I know he won six
He
man of the
struggled a little
year,
bit. He struggled
but
this series.
he gets more like a D for this series. But I like how he played. I like the intensity. You're right. The defense has to step up. We need to see a lot better going on moving forward because you're going to get much tougher competition the rest of the way. You can't have a 20-point lead and then get stagnant because those guys, if he comes back, Jokic, all that, they're not going to be playing easy on you. When you
No.
get to play SGA and the Thunder, guess what? It's not going to be easy either. So it's going to get a lot harder along the way. So, but those are learning curves I'm cool with along the way. That's why I thought this series, even though it went to 5, I know you wanted to sweep. I wanted to sweep too. It was a good learning curve.
Oh no, for
Now
sure.
Coach Mitch knows what to do to get them ready for the second round. So now they get to sit and wait. They either play probably on like Sunday or they probably play by next Tuesday. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, man. Any final thoughts on any basketball topic before we move on?
Nah, man. It's just glad to like. I was so happy with it being Fiesta and the playoffs being back, man. The city, seeing how the city looked, even though I don't understand why everybody's going so crazy down Military and Commerce. After a couple game one series wins, I understand for the city. I understand like, hey, honk, but setting fires, setting fireworks off all crazy. That's like, come on, man. We can't have it where cops are gonna have to shut down certain parts of the city now after Spurs games.
All right. Well, I, you know what? San Antonio be Puro fucking crazy. Fuck that shit. Let's be fucking crazy. Let's go out there and burn the streets. I don't give a damn. Make it like Philly, but in a nice way. But anyways, I'm gonna finish up NBA talk and let's move on to some football talk. And with joining us right now is the host, the creator, the debate king. He is Milton Wynn. What's going on, brother?
I like how you said like
Hey,
that. Win.
hey, fellas. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, Jose. Hey, fellas, how y'all
Oh,
doing?
doing
Joe, it's
good,
good to
doing
see
good.
you, dude.
I know, Fiesta week was last week. It's like me coming out of hibernation. So I was out in the streets in San
He
Antonio.
was out in the streets in San Antonio. Sing a song, dude.
San
There you there
Antonio,
you go.
where we roll, where we roll.
So it's our national anthem for San
That's our
Antonio.
national freaking anthem.
That's how ghetto we fucking are. You
Yeah,
sick
unfortunately,
fucks.
that's our biggest hit. We'll get there. Give us a couple years. We'll get an artist. We'll make a good one.
Will we? I don't know.
Maybe remix it. AI is a thing. It'll sound real good.
Hey man, when she gets out of prison this year, I think it's this year, next year.
Yeah.
She'll be
wow.
popping. She'll be hooking up with everybody, man.
She can
For
be at
sure.
Smoke Sty Bar performing.
you are
next year at Coachella, it'll be starting her.
Coachella. No, at ACO in Austin.
Oh shit, that's fucking hilarious. But nah, man, Milton, obviously football talk is here because we had the draft last week. You were on the whole time up until you're like, time to go. But thankfully, the draft was only 3 hours long.
Right.
It wasn't
It was-
4 hours.
Right. It was only one
Woo!
pick.
Yeah.
It was only one pick left. I wanted to stay.
Yeah, so we were there.
It's a
We
quick one.
were good. But thankfully, the draft is here and gone. A lot of teams feel like they improved. A lot of teams, you got questions about. Milton, overall, what you've studied in the last week with these new players, with these new names, how are you feeling about the draft overall, as far as it impacting certain teams, if any at all?
Well, I'll say this. It's going to sound real optimistic for majority of the NFL. I only really can critique 4, 5, 6 teams that I think actually had a bad draft, way too early prediction kind of thing. I think majority of the teams did a very good job. I could see the vision either immediate, like win now, or build the structure with the draft, especially these new GM, head coaches, et cetera, et cetera. But overall, throughout the draft, I think it was a lot of smart decisions made, in my opinion. Majority of them they had a good draft. I'll say that.
Now, how do you feel about this being our new tackle?
Be your new
Yeah,
left
I
tackle
love it.
soon.
I love that. I love that. I'm actually, I saw that and I got really happy. So welcome, man.
I did not see this obviously during the live broadcast because I was more paying attention to us in the Twitter news.
You would have posted that. Yeah,
if I had seen that, I would have brought that up immediately. Sure.
But I'm very happy to see that. Good character for that guy.
It is funny. It is interesting. People are already talking, Milton and Joe, about him potentially starting over Will Campbell on the left side. I still think he's been brought in to start on the right, eventually when Morgan Moses retires or moves on and such. So
I agree.
I think the kid will be just fine as is. So we'll see how that goes. But Joe, what about you, man? You venture out more into the college football realm than myself and Milton. How are you feeling overall from the draft? I know you said when we were talking pre-production that you had some questions. You were like, I can't believe this team did this and such like that. So how do you overall feel about the whole draft?
It was really surprising that some teams, like I'm just gonna give you like for an example, like the Giants, you have 2 first-round draft picks, or those picks obviously a need. The Mainoe pick, I'm okay with it, but the Arvo Reese pick was puzzling because you have so many guys that can ready go get the quarterback already. You don't need another guy like that at that point.
You can never have too many, though. Would you agree to that?
But now you're just. I don't know what's going on.
It's a lot.
Defensively now because you trade Dexter Lawrence away. You're arguably your best player defensively.
To be fair, he didn't want to be there no more. So that's
I know he didn't want to be there, but you trade him for the 10th pick and you get another lineman. You always need more linemen for Jackson Dart to stay upright. But it was just the pick at 3, if I'm not mistaken, that really surprised me. I was like, bro, like you have all these guys. Do not take another guy like that, please. And it helped. I was happy for me. Like if I was a Giants fan, I would have been pissed. But for me as a Cowboys fan, I was happy. Keep doing dumb stuff because I'm like the Cowboys got who they got.
Okay. Hey, let's engage on that real quick, Joe. So other than the Giants, did you think that was like the majority as a whole? There's a lot of puzzling moves for you,
Yeah,
or those
because
just stuck
like
out?
I'm just gonna say like the Cowboys, in my opinion, got the best player in the draft. I feel like Caleb Downs, because quarterbacks are always going to be taken one or two, or like they're always going to be taken
Yep.
early. But I think Caleb Downs, for the majority of all the mocks until recently, he was a top 3 pick, and somehow he falls to 11. That was surprising to me. I was like, ain't no way he's falling past 5. Ain't no way. And then he ends up going past 6, 7, 8, 9, and him already talking about like, oh, the Redskins or the Commanders passed on me, the
Mhm.
Giants passed on me. I'm not gonna forget that.
Okay.
And I remember I was watching highlights too, because I was at Niosa. I had it like on my phone.
So I've had
I
us
had
on your phone.
well, I had all kinds of stuff on my phone, because I even had, because somebody sent me the clip of whenever they announced Caleb Downs getting drafted, and it was Micah and Malik Neighbors, and you could just see Malik Neighbors' face, like, damn it, I'm gonna have to go up against Caleb Downs twice a year now.
No, he was pissed because the Giants have the 2 top
Yeah.
10 picks.
Right.
They skipped
That's
on both picks, and then like, the fuck are we doing?
that's where I think he was more upset at, because honestly, no offense, Joe, I think y'all killed it in the draft. By the way,
Yeah,
you still don't really have a secondary. You got him,
yeah.
cool,
Well,
but go ahead.
no, well, because
Malik Neighbors wouldn't really see him. That's my point.
yeah, well, he gets moved all around the field. He's like a Hamilton, like for the Ravens,
Sure,
so he's gonna
sure.
be all over the place. Like, yeah, like they need some help in the secondary. They did pick up some guys in free agency. Gotta wait and see. But Mansour Delane was already taken. Then McCoy ended up dropping to the 4th round. That was a guy I was thinking he was gonna be one of the top picks. He didn't get picked to the 4th round.
Hmm.
And so I was thinking like at 20, maybe we'll get a cornerback, but there was no cornerback, I thought, at that point. Then they trade back with the Eagles. And then the Steelers get pissed off because I guess the Steelers were like just chomping at the bit trying to get Lemon at that pick. And then the Eagles steal him away. So it was just funniness like throughout this whole draft, like seeing some of these teams trade with each other, because when the Cowboys and Eagles traded with each other, I'm like, what are we doing? We don't trade with the Eagles. I'm like,
Right. Same thing with
That's
the
what
Bills. With
that's what
us,
we're
yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Right.
But I was saying because it was funny because Trey in the text thread was like panicking. It's like, well, isn't that collusion between the Eagles and the Cowboys for them to move up and steal it from the Steelers? I'm like, they weren't on the clock, Trey.
Yeah.
They were never on the clock. They're the one that called early. And so then it
Right.
comes out be like, well, now the NFL is going to investigate for tampering
For
on
Pittsburgh,
the
right?
Steelers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Because
more. Yeah.
you're not allowed to call the players until you're on the clock.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
That's what. That was the problem.
yeah, the problem is not the Eagles or the Cowboys. The problem is those dang Steelers who are like, well, we can get away with it. You know what I mean? So
They've been trying to cheat for years. We Patriot fans know.
exactly. Yeah,
Suckers.
they can't be 7-time champions as long as we're here.
Nice little dig. Go ahead.
But I do think it's interesting because Milton, you're kind of right. Like they didn't really secure much on the secondary as far as the Cowboys we're talking about. I know they got Kobe Durant from the Seahawks, and they're trying to build up a lot of secondary issues with like PJ Locke. But I'm with you. I do think they still did really good with the draft.
For sure.
There's just, of course, just a lot more holes they still need to fix, just in general.
Yeah.
But
Like Joe said, like I think
progress.
overall talent from a guy that doesn't know collegiate ball like that. I knew that safety, and so to Joe's point, like no matter
I was
what
like
you
running.
feel,
I was
yeah,
running around
you did great.
Niosa. I was running around Niosa, and they were thinking I was just how happy for Fiesta. I was like, no, bro, the Cowboys just took Caleb Downs. All the Cowboy fans there were going crazy with me when I told them everybody.
Right. So,
oh God, all 3 of them. Fuck. Must have
All
been a
3 of them.
loud freaking Iosa. Nah, it's funny. Nah, man. I mean, overall, I think last week was a good time. I think we're gonna learn a lot. Obviously, what we're gonna do tonight, gentlemen, we're gonna rank our 5 winners, 5 losers of the draft, who we think, what we've studied in the last week, or what we already know. So, just in general, this is obviously preempting anything. Obviously, things can change in the future. That
Way
one
too
7th
early.
round pick, that 1 7th round pick could
Milton's
be like
favorite.
the greatest player of all time coming out of the commies or whatever. But we don't know that right now. So shoot, it is what it is. But guys, let's go ahead and start right now. We can go ahead and rank our top 5 winners of the draft and top 5 losers of the draft. I'll go ahead and start going first. Alex, if you're gonna spam the same shit, I'm just gonna go ahead and block you because I can.
No,
okay?
Was he talking about the safety Thielemann?
No, he's saying so many fake fans in San Antonio. Like, shut up. Deport yourself to Illinois. I don't give a fuck. This ain't about you.
You don't want to live in Chicago. You don't want to live in Chicago.
Yeah, he doesn't even live in Chicago. Yeah, this man loves Chicago, can't even live there.
I will say though, all of a sudden now there's a bunch of T-shirt Spurs fans that I would always get mad about that. I'm like y'all want
that's fine. Be mad to them. Like that's fine. There's a lot of T-shirt fans in every city.
Yeah, them. I would welcome them. Welcome them.
Well, those are the ones burning the city up.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Well, burn it. I don't care.
No, military stop it. No, I'll say no.
Have you driven down military? It needs something. There were some 12-year-olds driving a Marpok
in the BMW.
Yes.
Bro, they were driving like people thought at first.
You need to burn the city to recreate it from its ashes.
City,
brother.
Just part. That's not the whole freaking city.
We need to burn the inner city. Burn it down. Bring it down.
I hope nobody.
That's why everyone's living
watching.
outside 1604. There ain't nothing good inside the city. We gotta burn it down.
Jeez. Cue the Seth Rollins song.
No, I'll get copyright.
But you singing it.
Just be like, whoa.
Oh, that would be pretty funny.
Can't get in trouble. I'm just saying,
There's no way.
But now, yeah, that's funny. Hold on, let's find a video. Come on, we can find a video of the city getting burned down. Come on, I gotta show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I gotta show.
I haven't seen
I gotta show Milton about the 12-year-old in San Antonio.
Yeah, they were driving a white BMW down military. Then they ended up going to the corner store at QT.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday they were burning like right there. I don't know if you know where Bud Jones is at in Don Pedro's in the south side. So right there, it's a big it's off a military drive. They were setting fires right there, and like people were like going in the middle.
Look at this. Look at the fucking 12-year-old. Look at them kid, bro.
Oh wow.
Whose kids is that, bro?
Right.
Where's your mama's?
Oh
man.
It either look like a white Honda or a BMW.
It's a Honda. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a Honda for sure.
Now you know what? Is this military? This is military.
Yeah, it's military.
Right?
It's that military right there.
It's by
right?
freaking
the mine.
That's crazy.
It's right by the mine, right across the street.
That is crazy. Funny.
Wow, man! I was just hyping up. Well, not hyping up the Spurs, but a couple people ask me like, "Oh, who's your basketball team?" And I'll say, "Well, I used to go for the Knicks, but I'm not really a Knicks fan. I don't really care." And normally they're Spurs fans, and I tell them that I'm actually rooting for you. I love my city, and I think Spurs fans have finally been humbled. I'm rooting for you.
Setting fires and they're going
I don't think so.
Dancing in the circle of fire.
I don't think I'm rooting for you guys anymore. I hope you guys lose now.
So wow.
I'm sorry, we have to stop this.
You acting like okay. See, this is how I know you don't watch the Knicks because you're always saying you're a damn Knickerbocker fan, but you don't. But they suck too. Yeah, they're crazy.
They're
worse. I think they're worse. 100%. I think they're one of the worst fan bases. New York. Oh gosh, New York. Period.
Look at all these youngins. They didn't go through the grind. They don't know about the real times. Them look freaking.
That's what. I was. Every time I talk to a Spurs fan now, y'all went through what 5-6 years of sucking. I think that humbled you guys because a lot of Spurs fans used to be very arrogant in their speech, right? Oh, yeah. And now it's like you're happy to be there.
What do you mean by humble? I'll be happily I'll be propping those 5 championships. Happy talking about that top 4 all-time Tim Duncan. I don't know.
That.
Like
top
how
4 all-time is crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you don't watch enough basketball to
yeah, fair enough. I like that. You got me. That's good. You got me. You got me.
Can't say shit to me.
Shout out to the Spurs.
Come at me, bro. Now
we could do all-time lists. I've watched. I used to be a huge fan. Now the last 10 years, I have to scrub from my memory.
He's like, all right, my top 10 list for me watching from 1998 to 2016.
All right, whatever.
Number 1, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. Allen
Number
Iverson.
2,
Vince Carter.
Number 2, Sean Livingston. I don't
Okay.
know what to
Okay.
tell you,
What are we
but the
doing?
way he would float that shit, the midi, oh my
It
God.
was crazy. But,
Number 3, Andre
Good.
Iguodala.
hey, very slept on guy. Okay.
I
Game
want
on the
Iguodala.
line. Game on the line.
Game
Give
on the
me
line. Who
Iguodala.
said that? Max Kellerman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what a historic just
Out of bounds,
disgust.
James Harden. No, I'm sorry. Go on.
All right,
What?
go on.
I was talking crazy. No, but
Top
I'm
5,
sorry.
bottom 5, whatever you
All
want.
right. Top 5, bottom 5. All right, I'll kick it off. We'll start with
Okay.
the positives. We'll start with the happiness because that's what people want to hear.
Mhm.
Now, Milton, I don't know if you ranked 1 through 5 or you just listed 5 teams that you're proud of. Joe already kind of told me he just listed 5 teams. He saw good positive news. He didn't really rank them. So I will just go ahead. We'll just go call them. These are the winners. These are
Sure.
the winning circle.
Sure.
So this doesn't mean, by the way, that I believe your team, if I name it, is going to be a playoff team or they're going to be all that. That just means they won draft night. That doesn't mean shit. You know,
Right.
you know how many times the Jets have won draft night and haven't won a playoff game? That
Right.
many times. As many as the Patriots have won Super Bowls. That's how many times.
Nice.
So let's go ahead and talk about it. One of my winners is actually the Jets. I'm going to go ahead and give them some props for it because they got 3 first-round picks. One of them they traded back into. They got what's arguably the best edge rusher in the game, David Bailey out of Texas Tech. He didn't want to be there, but you know what? Fuck it. He'll take his millions. He'll be happy with the fully guaranteed money. So he'll go ahead and do his job. He's a guy that you're going to be a little scared of to see, Milton, since we're Patriots fans. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Kenyon Sadiq coming out of Oregon. Really big guy.
He's a freak.
Yeah, going to be very athletic, very sneaky. We'll see how it goes. Geno Smith might throw some picks, but he had Brock Bowers the last few years. So he might make him a top rookie this year. And, of course, they trade back in to get wide receiver 2, Omar Cooper. Rest of the way, they got some secondary issues to take care of with D'Angelo Pons and BJ Payne. Not much there going on, but overall, I do think the Jets are in the winner's circle. One of my other picks, I picked the Raiders. Obviously, they got the quarterback of the future. Does that mean they're going to win the whole thing once upon a time? Probably not, but they got what they needed. They had multiple day 2 picks. They had Stux, Crawford, and Zoom, all top prospects in their respective positions. So they're looking good right now. I think the Raiders, with this new structure, with the Tom Brady-led GM, with Clint Kubiak at the helm as the head coach, I think these guys are rightfully getting their stuff. And, they got Dermot McCoy. A lot of questions about his knee injury, but he was a guy that was projected to be a first-round pick who fell to the 4th round because of the injury. If he's able to come back fully healthy, that is a steal. So Raiders get one of my winner circle nods.
Mhm.
Another team, give me the Kansas City Chiefs. 4 defensive guys in the first 4 picks. They are going back to Spagnuolo. They know that that's their bread and butter. Patrick Mahomes will do his job on the offense, but the defense will win them championships. Another one, Cleveland Browns. They got their tackle. They got their wide receiver. They got positions that were needed, begged for. So now they're moving on their way up. That doesn't mean they're close, but they're moving into the right direction. I like what they did. Denzel Boston, wide receiver 3, maybe 2 if you put KC Concepcion as wide receiver 1. I mean, this could be a bargain, honestly. And, of course, the last one, we talked about it a little bit. It is Joe's team. It is the Dallas Cowboys. They are in my winner's circle. To get Caleb Downs, arguably a top 2, top 3 overall player in the draft, falling to you at 11. You trade up 1 spot to get him. You get the guy you wanted as an edge rusher in Malaki Lawrence. And so you move on. You do the right thing stuff. You get also a tackle coming out of Penn State. Penn State tackles usually do really well. So, I mean, even if it's low-key a backup, not bad picks at all. So
Count your days, Terrence Steele.
Oh my God. Those are my 5 winners for the draft. Whoever wants to go next, feel free, guys. Or if you have any questions, you have any thoughts, talk to me.
How about
I'm like,
go ahead, Joe.
no, the majority of the teams that you have in yours 5, I pretty much have. There's only one team that I had that you didn't have.
Yeah, it's likewise. Damn
Oh,
it, that's
shit.
why you see. Yeah. That's why we were talking. But I luckily made a top half. So what I'll do for cutting purposes is I'll give the other 5 that is not in your list. But just so you know, like Joe said, Jets, Las Vegas, Kansas City, Cleveland were in my top 5. Just so you know.
For
Okay.
So,
for
good pick.
for Cleveland to move back and still get Fanu, like I thought he was one of the better tackles in this
Yeah.
draft. I
Right.
think he was the best one if I'm not mistaken. When I
Yeah.
look back at the positions and stuff, I think he was the best one. And to move back, who did they trade with? They traded with is that who they traded with Kansas City with? And then to get that, you move back and you still get more picks for the future because their defense is really good. You just have to nitpick here and there. You have the defensive rookie of the year in Swearinger, so you have your Mike for the next couple of years. You have Miles Garrett. Don't have to worry about that. So there's pieces of that defense that are already put together. Now you're starting to see this offense get put together, depending on whoever that quarterback is. If it's Shador, if it's Watson, you see the blueprints of this team possibly turning around.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'll go second because I think, kind of like what Jose said earlier, Joe is the collegiate man. So I'll let you go last and critique whatever you need to. And we could really start discussing our list. So I'll say no order. The 5 biggest winners of the NFL draft. One of them, I have the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears, the way that they chose and addressed, they needed a safety, they needed a center. They lost Dahlman, they lost Byard. So they needed those 2 positions because both of those players last year were key factors in success. And so they replaced that. And then everywhere else, not everywhere, but majority of everywhere else, they get a high upside pick. So I give respect to Chicago. They will be in my winning list. And also I have the put them out there. Hold on. The Baltimore Ravens. They got their offensive linemen. They're more towards, like, if I ranked it, it would be like more towards 5 because I think they still need a center. But they got an offensive lineman. They got a good edge rusher. They got 2 good wide receivers, a good tight end. And throughout the draft, even the later, they got good quality depth pieces. So I like what Baltimore's doing. New head coach. It seems like they still know how to draft as well. So got to give proper respect to the Baltimore Ravens. A third team that's going to be in the winning bracket, I'm going to have to pick the team that Joe is confused about, the New York Giants. I like what the Giants have done. Now, to be fair, Joe definitely will probably refute me, and it'll probably make a lot of sense because he knows more football, collegiate ball than me. So fair enough. But just off a surface level look, they addressed a lot of key positions that they needed, and I know with the pass rusher, I get that, but I do believe in the funny quote that there's not enough pass rushers to go around. I mean, if you have a lot of pass rushers, okay, that's a good problem to have, in my opinion. So I'm also going to give the New York Football Giants proper respect. That's 1, 2, 3. And then number 4, let's go with Tampa Bay. I like what they did. I think they got a lot of good value picks for what they needed. Like Jose prefaced everything by saying this. This is not me saying that either one of these teams are going to be actually good. But draft-wise, I do want to give proper respect, and I do believe they should be in the winning bracket. And is that 4? Is that 4?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me get a 5th one. The 5th, I don't want to say this team because I'm totally being fallacious with this one, but I'm just going to freaking do it. All right. I'm going Cincinnati Bengals. Reason is I like the transition on them going more defensive. And I am using this in my criteria on this part. I count Dexter Lawrence being part of this draft in a way because they're getting them at first. That this is what they gave away. They get Dexter Lawrence, they get another piece on defense, and they just keep adding pieces on defense, which they need. And so I like the new identity move, at least in the draft, for the Cincinnati Bengals. That would be my top 5 in the winner's bracket of the NFL draft.
Okay.
Not really top 5 though.
No. It's just 5. Just 5.
Winners.
You feel
Winners,
good about.
They're still winners though.
Yeah. 5 winners. Okay.
Yeah, and then for me, my top 5 teams that I felt like did like the best in my opinion. Number 1, new coach, new regime, new everything. Now, the Tennessee Titans. You get Tate at 4. I think they were hoping that Love was going to be there, so they pivot to wide receiver U in Ohio State. The past couple of times, teams take a wide receiver early for the Ohio State from Ohio State. Usually, some good picks. Then you get Falk, D tackle out of Auburn. You know how Robert Saleh likes to have those guys in the middle, be grimy and dirty, and take over. And then Anthony Hill, I really wanted him for my Cowboys and him to be a Mike for the future. Get him in the 3rd round. That's real value because at the beginning of this year, he was getting looked at possibly as a 1st round prospect, possibly. So to get him in the third round, ideal. Then the second team I have, of course, we said that earlier, the New York Jets. Regardless of who this quarterback's going to be in 2027, you could see the groundwork. You pick up 2 guys from the national championship Indiana Hoosiers team, and Cooper and Pons. Pons a little bit undersized, but he did not let that worry for him last season. The way he was locking down the opposing wide receiver ones for Indiana down. The Big Ten was a dogfight the whole season for them. So for him to go in the 2nd round, that's is great for him. Then Cooper, man, he balled out. I remember that one catch he had against Penn State to save their perfect season. Whenever y'all get a chance, look up that catch because in college it's only 1 foot you need in. That 1 foot made sure that they had a undefeated season. Sadiq is a freak. You don't have to say anything about that. Bailey, we got to hope and pray that, guys out of the Big 12 don't always necessarily transition well into the NFL. So hopefully he does well for the Jets at such a high pick. He came later in the draft status because I remember in the beginning of the year, towards the end, he was like a late to mid 1st rounder, and throughout the process, he started moving up and moving up and moving up. So moving forward, those are my 2 for now. Then moving on, the Chiefs with Mansour Delane, they moved up. I was kind of surprised that they moved up to 6 to get him, but you need a guy that to take over for Trent McDuffie to be your cornerback 1. And then Woods, him too. He was another guy. He played at Clemson. Clemson had a down season. He was looked at coming in as being a top 7 pick. To get him later in the 1st round, that was huge. A guy who can learn behind Chris Jones. He can learn with Kalafis. So that's a good pick for, Spagnuolo. You need to go forward. When they were winning their championships, they were just as good on defense as they were on offense. So hopefully they get back to that because, Pat Mahomes, he comes back healthy. You picked up Kenneth Walker. You still have guys on offense that can score the basketball. So you don't need to go crazy on offense now. Another team, I feel like I didn't technically rank them, but the team I thought I did the best was the Cleveland Browns. To move back and get Spencer Fanu, he was a top 4 pick for me, because whenever I look at the draft, I kind of I take the quarterbacks out of it. I don't necessarily look at the quarterbacks in there because they're going to get taken higher than what they probably are. Fernando Mendoza, I thought was a top 10 prospect, when I look at it, but he was going to get taken number 1 because a lot of teams always need a quarterback, and that's who you're going to take at 1 majority of the time. But Spencer Fanu, best tackle in this draft. Then you get Casey to be possibly your wide receiver 1 or put him in the slot because he was, just bonkers at Texas A&M. You put him in the slot, he was destroying people with that speed. And then you get McNeil as your safety out of Toledo. I thought he was going to sneak into the 1st round. I thought he was he was the 2nd best safety in this draft. To get him in the 2nd round was great. And then, who I have as my last team is my Dallas Cowboys. You get Caleb Downs, the best player in the draft to me. You get Malachi Lawrence, top 2, top 3 edge in this draft. Everybody's going to take an edge, probably a little bit higher than what they're expected, because
Right.
you know what, you're going to want to get a guy who can rush the quarterback.
Mhm.
So those were my 5 top teams out of the draft. Are they going to be great? We don't know, but they did draft some guys that popped on tape, and hopefully they have good rookie seasons.
Bet. All right. So I think for the most part, like Milton said, there's like 4 teams a lot of us agree on. As far as like at least the top 5. I think Milton, you agreed with 4 of mine, but not
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys. I think was one of
Yeah,
them.
but even with that being said,
It's-
Dallas, yeah, they're on my list. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put Chicago really that much ahead of them.
Yeah,
It's
I
Right,
just
just
right.
wouldn't look at Chicago ideally because they lost a lot in their secondary, and they only addressed Thielemann as their safety. I think they lost both of their safeties, if I'm not mistaken. And then they did draft Muhammad to be a cornerback. They drafted him late. He
right,
was good at Texas, so hopefully
right.
he pans out for them. But they lost a lot on their defense from last year, which they were in the Max Crosby sweepstakes that they were trying to get him. Fortunately,
Yeah.
they didn't get him. So
Yeah.
I want to see how this defense is going to look moving forward, because I don't know if it's going to transition where their offense is now the lead unit and now the defense is now taking the back seat.
It'll be
Well, I
interesting how
think
Dennis
that's
Allen treats
right.
them.
Right. Well, either way, the Bears have been their defense has been turnover
Yeah.
heavy, but they haven't
I
been that
like the
good.
Kobe Bryant and Devin Bush signings. I know maybe not a lot of people
Yeah,
do, but
Devin
I
Bush
like
is
those
a
signings.
underrated sign, but also the same argument though, Joe. I'm a push you a little bit
No, yeah.
with Dallas. Y'all lost a lot as well, and you also still have holes. So that's why I think both of y'all are pretty freaking similar. I think y'all got
Yeah.
one of the best players. That's what puts you over. I think with Chicago, again, it's definitely forecasting it, but
Yeah.
I think that they have such a high ceiling number of players, very
Yeah.
high
No, for
ceiling players.
sure. I just think
Be right
I
back.
wouldn't even have them
Sorry.
in my top 7. And the Giants too. They lost.
Well, before we continue on to that, because maybe I don't know, Milton, it feels like it. We might have some of these teams as losers.
Yeah.
Maybe. So then we can debate it once we have our loser list. How do you well we can wait till Milton returns.
I don't
But
know if you want me to start it off with my losers.
well, let's wait till he gets back because I want him to hear it all. I don't know if he had a temper to get off real quick. But
Oh, okay.
because I was gonna say, because I know that's how you felt when we were talking pre-production about the Giants. So I was like, okay, well you might have them in your losers list. So let's wait until we can really go into debate with it once you have
Yeah.
your whole list out. But it is interesting. I know he went off and listed 5 other teams other than the ones we,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I think a lot of people feel the same, Joe. I feel like Cleveland, the Jets, and then the Chiefs. Kind of that's been like our between the 3 of us, that was our consensus 3. Then like me and you added Dallas.
Yeah.
Me and Milton, I believe, added. I forgot who else it was on there, but nonetheless, it is like a consensus who of like the top teams. But for the most part, I think we agree which ones for sure outside
Yeah.
of the 5 that he added on that he felt like, hey, let me give a shout out to. But okay,
Yeah.
how do you feel right now about like the extra refs coming in and such like that? Like refs about to come in soon. The
The
high school
replacement
refs.
refs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting because I remember whenever that happened a couple years ago, or I think it might have been a decade ago. I can't remember the actual time, because that's when I think when that Fail Mary with Aaron Rodgers happened. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be interesting. But I'm like, you have all these camera angles, you have all these added help with the refing nowadays. So if we can see it and we can be like, oh, that's a hold, or we could say that, oh, it's a chop block. They should be able to see it too. Like, and they have all these cameras that are a lot better than our TVs.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, the man who hates all of San Antonio but refuses to move back to Illinois. He
Well,
is the professor, Alex.
he lives in
Please.
Pleasanton, so he's fine.
I mean, but all he does is say shit about San Antonio like if he lives here. Ain't that right, Alex? You sicko.
Yeah, one of the nastiest cities.
From what? From what? Like,
Hey,
Yeah, he doesn't.
Joe. I seen you lost weight, buddy. Man, congrats, bro. You look good.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm on a health journey. Gotta live as long as I can for my kids.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you're doing it too?
Nah, it just came in, bro. So I'm kind of excited.
what is that? Ozempic?
Nah,
No,
um,
I
some
was so
peptides.
confused by what you
I'm,
just
I'm
put
thinking,
up.
I'm thinking some peptides.
Oh, okay.
Reds?
What drugs are you trying to promote
I'm
out here,
I'm trying
Chicago?
to trying to jump on that and then jump on some TB, some Wolverine
Yeah,
stat.
yeah. No,
So I get,
I'm just on red right now.
we'll talk after.
Yeah, yeah.
They're on some crash out
What up,
drug mule shit.
Chi-Town? I'm sorry. Hey, Joe, apologies for leaving while you were doing,
Nah, you're
we
good,
were
man.
doing our
No,
cross. I'm sorry.
I kind of stopped him because I was like, let's go with losers because then we can really debate like these names. So Alex,
Oh.
we were revealing our winners and losers of the draft. We finished off on winners. For the most part, we kind of agreed that Cleveland, the Jets, Dallas, KC, and well, I said Raiders. Joe said Titans, and then Milton. What was your fifth? What would have been your 15?
Chicago.
Chicago would have been your 15. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he felt that Alex was coming on. So
All
he's
right,
like,
it was like,
oh.
let me get Alex on my
Nah,
side.
nah.
Just a
I
little
just
bit.
see. I see.
Woo!
I like.
He said
I
he
know
said
Ben
Chicago.
Johnson, and I like.
He
what
said
he's-
Chicago 3 times, and Alex appears.
Behind you.
Yeah. Well, here you are. It worked.
He didn't like the picks.
I did.
No. Those were his winners. We haven't. Now we're gonna go into our losers.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna like discuss our losers. So Joe said he'd go first. Go ahead, Joe. To name us your 5 losers of the draft.
Alrighty, my first loser, man. I was puzzled at this. I think the whole draft was puzzled at this. That this happened. The Rams taking Ty Simpson in the
Hmm.
first round, bro. You did not need to take a quarterback this year. If you wanted to do that, do it next year. Not with this draft. Ty Simpson had flashes at Alabama, but he was battling his whole career to be the starter. And now you want to be your franchise quarterback moving forward? I'm like, no, do not do that, please. You wasted a first round draft pick. You could have possibly got him in the second round or late first round if you wanted to do that. And then they didn't they're in win now mode. They did not act like they're in win now mode. They're taking guys, hoping and praying that they do stuff for them moving forward. I was like, what are you doing?
None of these guys will start.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna say that
no.
right now. I'm gonna agree with you. I'll just go by agreeing with you because I don't want to like repeat and regurgitate what you say or what you said right now. They're not gonna start. And Ty Simpson is a reach. He's 13th pick for no reason.
13th.
Like he's not that guy. Respectfully, I told you Milton last week during the live draft. If you don't have that many starts and reps in college, we've seen it with Anthony Richardson. I don't trust you to be like a long term guy. Now he's got Sean McVay. That's cool, but Joe's right. As far as winners, as far as like we need to win now because it's Matthew Stafford probably last year, this has not helped me at all. And yes, it might help in the future. Maybe they turn him into what did someone say? Daniel Jones at best or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah, yeah.
so-
Yeah. Because you don't know what's going to happen with Puka this upcoming season as well. You don't know if he's going to play because he was in.
Well, I don't know. They're going to keep Devontae.
So this draft was a good uh, draft for wide receivers and tight ends. You could have got him another weapon. They did get him a weapon, I think, in the third round or second round, if I'm not mistaken.
late second, they got him a tight end out of Ohio State, which is fine. But
Yeah.
it was a reach on that pick too. Like that wasn't the right guy to go with on that position either. There's
because he was a fourth, fifth round tight end possibly, so you could have got him at that point. So they're reaching they have to remember they were not that far away from the Super Bowl last year. It wasn't for a couple of drops, a couple muff punts. They're in the Super Bowl possibly.
right.
So next team up, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost a
agree.
lot of guys all over the place, and you do not address nothing at all. You lose. They lose ATN. didn't replace him as a running back. Did they lose Devin Lloyd? I can't
Yes, they
remember.
did.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
So
a
they lost
Panther.
And
Devin
Hill
Lloyd.
was
You cannot
right
adjust
there.
that. Hill was there. You lose him. Like the main guys that you lost on your team, you did not address. The guy you take in the second round, another tight end, you could have got him in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Nate Brockworth. I'm like, are you serious?
He was such a reach. It's so ugly.
Like a lot of these guys, for the
That's all
most
they
part,
did.
were reaches, except for possibly when I'm looking at it, that offensive guard out of Oregon. You could have got him. They got him in the 3rd round. He was looked at possibly at a later 1st rounder, possibly to get him at. That was the only good pick. The rest of these picks,
That's it.
head scratchers. Then moving forward, man, the San Francisco 49ers.
With you. I'm with you. We're talking. Speak my language.
What are you doing, man? You take a wide receiver out of Ole Miss. He was okay, but you don't have Ayuk no more. You're losing Jennings. He's probably going to sign with the Vikings. Another year older. You need to get this offensive line intact somehow. Trent Williams is getting older by the second. What are y'all doing? And then you're not going to have George Kittle all next season. So it's like, oh, it's all right. We have Trent. We have C-Mac. No, you cannot think like that no more.
Let me add
I'm
into
like,
that,
yeah,
Joe. Let me add to it. When are you finally gonna focus on that O line? When are you gonna stop putting everything on your left tackle, your 38-year-old left tackle? We need to focus on the future. We need to protect Brock Purdy for life. We need to protect these running backs. We need to protect the damn roster. Bubble wrap these motherfuckers. That's what O line does. Alex, is this not what you praise? We get your fucking O line in check to make sure you're able to protect. And this team doesn't flow without the O line. There's a reason why the damn 49ers can't win another Super Bowl. They don't got no damn O line. So
Yeah, man.
I'm with you, Joe. I hate what the
know what?
Niners did.
Wow.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Hold on real quick.
Okay. I hate
ain't
it.
expect-
They took a wide receiver from, like you said, Ole Miss. They took an edge rusher from Texas Tech. Fine.
Right.
I saw them running away. I'm sorry, Joe. We got
Nah, it's fine.
She ran. Then you take a running back late 3rd for no damn reason. What you doing with your life? Like,
Yeah. Then
there's nothing
I'll
going on here, bro.
I'll name out my last 2 teams, and then there was one team that I wanted to put on there. I'll just name this team. They didn't make my bottom 5. The Arizona Cardinals, man, taking a running back at 3, Love. What are we doing? That was the one position that you did not need. Arguably, he's explosive, but
Right.
you wasted a running back pick on a number 3 pick when you have Algiers, you have Connors, and you have all those other running backs that you had last season. Why even sign Algiers? That was the second head scratcher for me. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player. He's in the running for offensive rookie of the year. That was like puzzling to me the way he was drafted by the Cardinals, because you need a lot for that team, and to take a running back at 3 was just head scratching. But the last 2 teams I have, Pittsburgh Steelers. They are letting Aaron Rodgers hold this franchise hostage, and I do not understand why. He's 41 years old. He's hopefully going to be able to make half the season. I don't know how him and McCarthy are going to coexist next season. They didn't have the best relationship whenever he left. They were so upset that they didn't get Lemon, because the Eagles traded up and took him, and now they're just scrambling. I don't know what they were doing. Like, it looked like they were just like hoping and praying that Aaron Rodgers would sign off on all the picks. And you take offensive tackle at Arizona. He's been a project the past couple of seasons. He got to Arizona State. He looks like a man child. Don't get me wrong. But to take him in the 1st round, you could have got him possibly in the 2nd round. You take another wide receiver. You have adequate wide receivers now with Pittman, and you have DK, and then you have Fairmouth. So you have enough pass catchers around. Then you take Drew Aller, in the 3rd round when you have Will Howard there. So I feel like this franchise is in shambles just because Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to make up his mind. And now they gave him that franchise tender now. So it's like if anybody signs him, they get a pick. So I'm glad they finally did something about it, because he needs to hurry up and make a decision. Like, are you going to play with us or not? Because now this team's going to suffer next season because they're going by possibly what Aaron Rodgers is wanting to do.
Yeah, he promised them he'd give him an answer before the draft, and he never did. So Here's I'll say this. I don't actually mind the Drew Aller pick. They're not one of my losers.
Yeah.
I just think you could have picked him up later on, which
Yeah,
is
you
like
could got him in
that's
the
the
5th round.
yeah, or even the 4th, just to be like
Yeah.
safe if you really like him. But I do think he'll be fine. I think that the biggest thing for him is obviously he's coming off a bad injury last year, so I do like the QB room competition between him and Will Howard. They're both young; they can both do something. I mean,
Right.
Mike McCarthy is a good enough coach to use out of one of them.
Mhm.
I don't think Mason Rudolph should be starting if that is the role they end up doing.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, they're fine. Their biggest issue is that they try to tamper with a wide receiver they
Yes.
put right on the clock. That was their biggest like L for the night. And then they forced themselves to go for Bernard in the next round because they fucked up on Lemon.
Yeah. And then my last team, the New York Football. No, the Cardinals weren't in there. I was like, but the New York Football Giants.
Okay.
Arvo Reese, I'm like, man-child. Don't get me wrong. You have enough guys there on the defense. Get more secondary help. Get more guys. You let Wandell walk. You did not address that. Malik Neighbors, you don't know how he's going to look next season coming off the injury. Isaiah Likely's there. He's never been a true tight end one. Your running back, you don't know how he's going to look next season. So your offense, you don't know how this offense is going to look. You didn't get Dart, I think, a second adequate wide receiver moving forward, which they should have got that at one of those picks. They could have picked somebody up, and they didn't. So it was just head scratching with that. Maui Noga, he has a back injury problem, so you don't know how that's going to be to take a guy that high. When I was really thinking that they were going to take Caleb Downs, and I was hoping and praying, like crossing my fingers, please do not let them go at 10. And they skip him for a guy who's injury prone. Really head scratching.
Yeah, it's tough to be young and have a herniated disc. So there is that one right there. Milton, you have any losers on your bracket that Joe might have not named? You don't have to add all 5. You can just do like 1, 2, whatever you feel. If you agree with some, or if you got a whole list.
I would agree with the Rams. Yes, Jacksonville, 100% agree. San Fran, you talked me into it. I actually didn't have 5. I only had 4. I couldn't find a 5th loser because, again, I thought everybody did pretty well, in my opinion. But San Fran, that was a good point. Very good point. So add San Fran to it. And the 2 that you didn't name that I have is the Los Angeles Chargers.
I had them like right on the outside for winners.
Winners. I would love to hear your argument on that. I don't think that the pieces that they got. Oh, they got an edge rusher, offensive lineman, wide receiver. Everywhere that they picked, it just seemed that
around early.
Yes.
Well, Akeem, where they got him at, I was hoping he was going to fall one more pick to the Cowboys because he was looked at as a top 15 pick. Him and Bain were neck and neck going forward. And to get him at 22nd, I was mad. I was like, and then we pick up Malachi, and I was kind of like, he was like the 3rd or 4th edge for me. So Akeem was like the third edge. It was Bailey, then it was Bain, then it was Mesidor.
Well,
so to get him there, I was like, all right, like, you moving forward, they needed a guy who can be a cornerstone because they lost that in Bosa. They let him walk a couple seasons ago. And then Ofe, he went to the Commanders, so you needed a guy to be there at the edge.
Right, so they got a bunch of edge pieces in free agency as well. So with the Chargers, what they needed and what they don't have is good corners, in my opinion. They don't have a good secondary. That's completely gone, and they didn't address any of that. They have Derwin James. They're just banking on Derwin James. I don't really understand that.
Who would you thought they would have picked in that 22nd pick that they needed?
The Chargers?
Yeah, the DBs at that point, you would have been reaching all over the place.
Well,
right,
I mean,
but it seems like they reached anyway.
If we gotta talk about one, it's the one that Chicago picked up. Tiedemann.
Well, safety. He's a safety though.
Yeah, he played safety. And the thing is, like I was telling you guys on the pod, like he's good. I mean, it's just like he's there's only one Caleb Downs, and he could play any position. So, I mean, if it's going to be any DB that the Chargers needed, it would probably be him in the first round.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, yeah, I think they did okay. I mean, I don't think they're the bottom. I think any team, honestly, that's the losers are the teams that all passed up on Caleb Downs, especially the teams that needed that kind of help. I thought Washington should have picked him up.
I mean,
And
but to be honest, with what you're saying, what your first statement was right. All the teams that passed up on him you could call loser for that. I would probably only disagree with the Browns because they got a lot on their defense. They got nothing on their offense.
yeah.
So I was fine with that because I always felt they're gonna go find them. The Giants, I agree with Joe. We'll go
Francis Minoga.
Winoga. It hurt because it's like we talked about last week. He is hurt. Like you're talking about a herniated disc with his size and his position. I'm like, it's gonna be tough. That's a big oos. So, everyone loves Jordan Tyson. It felt like everyone was talking about him like being wide receiver one. Carnell Tate could be a reach, could be a stretch. He wasn't the real wide receiver one in Ohio State. But we'll see. As far as the losers that I would agree or disagree, which I actually have two different ones. Obviously, the Rams, Jaguars, Niners, I agree with. One of the losers I have on here is the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Last one.
they reach big time in the first round.
I think how Alex was talking about last week, he was scared that they were going to get Tiedemann at 17 or 18, whatever they were. And that's what they should have done because their biggest thing is they're losing Harrison Smith and they don't have secondary. We trust Ryan Forrest to do whatever he needs to send 4, 5, 7, 10 in the front. Like we're fine. They didn't need Caleb Banks. They needed Tiedemann. And for them to allow him to fall all the way down to a division rival
or no,
25.
25, yeah.
Is insanity. That's what Minnesota lacked. They kept getting burned that last year. And now your best guy, your possible future Hall of Famer is gone. So Minnesota was a loser, in my opinion, for that reason. I just didn't like it, and it makes me question because I was already saying Green Bay will be last in the division next year. I don't know. It could be Minnesota once again. Their whole pickup list, I'm just like, you didn't address like your safety situation until late third round, and that guy was a reach. That was a 5th round pick. So, for Thomas coming out of Miami, so I was not a fan of Minnesota. I think they dropped the ball on that one. And as far as here's the thing, like those were 4 losers, and then I just had to pick a 5th one because I didn't like the rest of the draft. I think I liked 2
It's
picks.
It's a lot of wait and see with this draft. I feel like it's like a wait and see because
Alex,
a lot of the guys didn't come out that we thought were going to come out because they want to keep getting NIL.
We can call your first 2 pick winners. After that, I think it's like very experimental. I have your Bears as one of my bottom 5 because I think your 2 first picks were right on the money. But then the rest, you got another tight end in the 3rd round. You don't need any more tight ends on this damn roster. And then you got another wide receiver in the 3rd round as well, which I don't need. I think Muhammad is a good sneaky one. You got him in the 4th. But I feel like your 2 picks in the 3rd and your late rounders, which obviously are going to be experimental anyways, those were too much of a reach. So they just fell into the bottom 5, but they're not really like a loser. You know, they're just like they too much of a reach with those picks. Like you didn't need to do that.
I think Cole Kmet might be out, and it kind of sucks.
You're gonna check your trade number away?
No, I think I don't think he gets a 2nd-year deal with Chicago. Or second contract with him.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
But even this year, Ben Johnson and his style, what he wants to run, and 3 tight ends sounds like something that
20.
he would. What?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like this is the type of style he likes to play.
Even the receiver y'all chose. It's
Yeah, but
completely
it looks
his
like
style.
he might change to running back.
They have 6 tight ends on the roster right now.
That's Ben Johnson. And even with you saying he might change to running back, we
No, that's
remember
just
in
Chicago,
Detroit, who did
dog.
he love? Who did he love using?
Yeah, Jay
Khalif
Will.
Raymond, right? Well, no,
Oh,
Khalif
and
Raymond,
Pinche.
right? So like he wants a you can do it all kind of receiver at running back. You can move them around. That's a binge. That's why I like their draft. I hear you, Jose. I mean, they're 5th and 6th. I don't freaking know it, nothing about it. Yeah,
It's
but
the third round picks that bother me. His third rounds are the ones that really like, because Muhammad's fine. That's a guy that was projected to go earlier and for some reason fell, which is like, that's money. That's what you look for in these drafts.
sure.
When you can get a gold gem in the later rounds that you could have got, like, that's why I was talking about McCoy earlier. But like that's a gem. Those two, another wide receiver and another tight end, you don't really need, not your concern. It's how you were talking about earlier, Milton. These cornerbacks, they need to really focus more on that. They did fill up the void somewhere in good spots with, like I said, the Kobe Bryant signing. Who the fuck else was I talking about earlier? Well, anyways, there's more secondary help they need.
Bush.
Yes, Devin Bush. Thank you. There was more help needed on that defensive side. Give Dennis Allen the perfect shutdown defense, so that way, even when games you got a Caleb struggling, you don't got the right running backs or your right situation with Swift or Manungai, you have your defense always shutting it down, keeping it safe. Those 2 picks, too much experimental, too much reach. You could have gotten them later in the rounds, or you could have traded back, gotten more picks. I'm just saying there could have been so much more with those 2 third-round picks. Remember when we drafted like 3 wide receivers in one draft, in a tight end or something like that, and that was all bust? That's what those 2 picks are.
Well, I just don't believe that, because I think Ben Johnson has his hand in it, and I trust Ben Johnson. I hear your point though, but just this is me not really knowing much about the players, but I see their style, and Ben Johnson would love that.
I got a quick question. I don't know, Joe, could you hang on for like maybe 2-3 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. So this is more to Milton because he loves stats, and if he was a GM, who would he draft? Right now, you have your pen and paper because it might be a little
Me?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, quarterback.
Notes.
Yeah, quarterback A. Quarterback A.
Mm-hmm.
His final year coming out of college, he had a 63 completion percentage, threw for 3,608 yards, 24
I think I know what this is already.
24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and then he rushed for 449 yards and 9 TDs, 0 fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this next quarterback, his final year of college, he threw, quarterback B, he threw for 3,539 yards, 29 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He rushed for, give me 1 second. He rushed for 862 yards and 10 TDs in his final year.
Okay. What's the completion percentage?
Give me 1 second. 70.6%.
I think I know who these 2 quarterbacks are.
Who you said? Who would I rather have based on that stat?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who they're playing. What is it? SEC?
Okay.
But
Yeah, the second quarterback plays he played in the SEC,
okay.
and the first quarterback played in the ACC.
Okay. And who would I just blindly rank in that? 3,500 yards. This guy was a better runner. This guy was basically B, probably B.
No, you just said no to your quarterback.
Who would you take, Jose? I mean, you already know who it is.
It's Drake May.
I take Drake May any day.
Well, the second quarterback had better numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the final year for sure.
Who went undrafted this
Diego
draft?
Pavia.
So you're putting Diego Pavia's numbers versus
I'm just saying it's crazy right? You put numbers like that, and like we're not
So
seeing.
that was Diego Pavia's numbers for his last year?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's
That's
crazy,
good
right?
numbers. That's good numbers.
Yes,
Then he go to
and
He went
Baltimore.
undrafted.
and
He
that's
just
in the
got, he's like
that's in the ACC. I mean, I'm sorry,
a SEC.
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 Yeah.
Did you think
Hey,
that?
well,
All right.
What was the point though? Chi-town
No.
later though.
No. I'm just
I
saying,
see it.
like people will right away talk like down on some of the quarterbacks, not even on this draft class, but other draft classes. And I'm like, damn, they put some good numbers up and they never get a shot, right?
Sure. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so like if you look back, I think Sanders even got drafted. You look at his numbers were terrible,
Shador's,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, and then this guy doesn't even get drafted. This guy beats Alabama. You know what I mean?
But do you understand why he wasn't drafted?
Yes, I do. But the thing is, like, he could play
I don't.
football.
If y'all can tell me, because what I heard, y'all correct me again. I don't know collegiate ball like that. Is that his arm is limited? He's limited, but he has a lot of dog in him. That's what I got out of it.
To me, I think he can make any throw. Like he does have some crazy ass throws.
Okay.
And the thing, I think it's because he's small. To tell you the truth, and
He's
they don't
5'10".
they don't
Right.
believe
I think
he could.
they said he doesn't have an arm like Kyler. So if you're that height, but you don't have that talent, it's typically not going to work out. That's
It's
what
crazy.
I've heard.
Here's
Yeah,
how I saw it, Milton.
Yeah.
I see it as like, all right, we don't need to experiment too much on smaller guys. A lot of teams don't like if you're not even 6 foot. Respectfully, I'm sorry. Like he's 5'10", maybe 5'9" and a quarter, whatever it is.
Really? Wow.
But like that's already a thing. So that's already struggle. So you better be like the perfect athlete. You better be accurate as fuck like Bryce Young and stuff like that. Like those guys get the nods because they're accurate or they got something special in them. The one thing that's about him, he's a firecracker. He can let his mouth run wild. He can go a little crazy. He can make maybe a little havoc in the locker rooms if you don't
Really?
if you don't feel like you can control that, if you don't want the headache. So that's one of the things. He's the first Heisman finalist to not be drafted.
Yeah, I saw that. That's very odd. And the stat that Chi-town put out that last year, if that's his last year, that's a good year.
But he's also a 6 years college player. Not all those guys get drafted, to be fair. If you've been, he played 6 years in college.
So interesting.
Now Carson Beck, a guy who did the same thing,
he got drafted.
Got drafted in the 3rd round by Arizona, but he's a bigger guy. He took his team to the national championship. Hell, he played multiple times in the national championship, right? He played where else? Georgia? What was it?
Georgia. But the thing is, like, if you go side by side, I don't think Carson Beck.
I don't think Carson Beck's all that a bag of chips, but they're looking at the upside because they won't feel like his attitude or his height will be at a disadvantage how they feel with Diego. So man, that's one of the things too. And Shador, you saw it. Shador fell because of his antics and stuff like that. That's why he wasn't a 1st round pick. He doesn't have the talent to be 1st round pick.
Oh,
I think
maybe that.
Being fair,
maybe that's
but all those antics and everything fell. Right. And so think about it. There's teams that knew that Colin Kaepernick could still go. There's teams that knew that Cam Newton could still go. But why didn't they ever sign them again? It's because they can be a distraction to the locker room or they can be a distraction to the media. You saw it the whole year with Cleveland. Everybody was like, so when's Shador going to start? When is Shador going to start? Bro, not like they don't got Joe Flacco already starting. They didn't have freaking Dylan Gabriel starting already. It was every week. When is Shador finally going to start? There's teams that don't need the headache. Why is Baltimore a great spot for Diego? Because no one's going to question him starting over Lamar.
100%.
That's a right spot. But Diego anywhere else could probably be like trying to be a firecracker, trying to, start something, maybe leak stuff to the media because he did. After he didn't get the Heisman win, he was like, fuck the voters, fuck everyone else.
Really?
Fuck everyone.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense then. why he's felt what he felt like. Just like you said, when you look at guys with this kind of energy or past or lack of control, let's just say that. I'm not even gonna say that because Shador didn't really have lack of control. But you get one of these kind of guys, the talent's just not enough for, like you said, the headache. If they're gonna sit on the bench, and they're being fair, there's like,
You
well,
need a
no,
teammate. You need a
right.
teammate in the end. Like,
Right.
yes, you need a guy that's ready to back you up if something goes down, but you also need a teammate. You can't have a guy that's like always out there. There's a reason why we traded Joe Milton away. He has a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
But this dude thought he could compete and should be guaranteed quarterback too. You know, even though he was a 7th round pick.
Right.
Like, that's why we were like, you know what? Vrabel don't want him. Get him out of here. You know what? So let's move on from that. So that's why I think Diego didn't get drafted. And look, if he pans out and he could be quarterback too in Baltimore, great. Learn behind Lamar. You got Jesse Minter out there.
You got
You're in a new system.
Snoop Huntley too.
And do something to where you can make a name for yourself that maybe someone says, you know what, if he's in the practice squad, maybe we'll sign him because we see something. So I think he's in the right spot being where we got picked up from. But hot-headedness, temper, that's why he didn't go.
I only bring that up because like there was questions too about like Drake May coming out in his draft class.
Yeah.
And because he played in the ACC and shit, I'm like, man, he played good. Like sometimes those stats don't really like tell you the whole full story.
There's context. Yeah.
And
that's
like,
the beauty of
to
context.
be fair, that's a 6'4" tall motherfuckers with an arm. So I mean, that's the thing.
But the thing too was like, you know, playing in the ACC.
No, for sure.
Competition.
Yeah, that's a fair critique.
Yeah. And then like I think his
final year wasn't better than his second year in college.
No. Yeah, so like it was a lower. I only brought those two up because I'm like, he had the same, like people were like talking about him and he was a 1st round pick. Like and I said like he was probably the number 2. Maybe he could have been the number 1 quarterback in that draft class.
Right, but also very quiet guy compared to the other brother, right?
But like you got to think about it too. We've seen it with like the studies from I talked about it last week I brought it up to Milton, the movie Draft Day. One of the things that GMs and all these guys look into, they even brought it up in the movie Milton, is your background. How's your situation with family? How's your situation with friends? Sure. How's your foundation and all that stuff? The reason why Drake, even though in situation where he was playing with the ACC, didn't really have show off everything like if he had played in the SEC, was because of a stability. Look what his family is. Family of nothing but athletes, right? He had brothers that played basketball. His parents were athletes. So
and he chose to stay in that school because of that.
Right. He was loyal. He didn't take the money to go somewhere else. So there was foundation, and that was things that people liked. Respectfully, for Diego, probably the reason why he fell to where he didn't get drafted is because they don't probably like his attitude. They didn't see his foundation being as stable as you'd want your quarterback to be. You don't want another Aaron Hernandez. No, I'm not saying that's what Diego is.
That was a slippery slope. Jesus
but if even if you look at like the Aaron Hernandez, like the little like mini show, the mini series, they went into that. They were like, well, we saw that you have history with gang members and shit like that. There were signs, so they don't want to take the risk. Sometimes the athleticism beats it, but sometimes those teams don't want the headache.
Right.
So, but yep, that's what I got right now for the winners and losers for football. We're gonna move on to MMA. So, Alex, I know that's not your cup of tea, so we'll see you around, brother.
Yeah,
you're the man, Alex.
About to put these kids to bed. He was screaming right now.
Knock them out.
What?
They're 6 months old.
Yeah, y'all take care, man. Y'all take it easy.
Later, bro.
What? It's true. My first nephew, the oldest one, he's 6 years old, and the other one's 6 months old.
That's beautiful. Oh man, 6 years old, 6. Yeah, that's dope.
You see, what a good uncle I am. I know that shit like easy. You know, I got.
You're a very good uncle. Yes. Yeah, some dads don't know that, so that's very good.
I don't
for
even
you.
know if Alex knew that.
All right, hey, stop. Right. I'm glad I didn't say what it. Yeah, sure.
But
Okay.
nonetheless, to finish out, obviously, what we're going to be talking about, me and Milton are going to go ahead and get into this weekend's main event fight for UFC Perth. It is the
100%.
former UFC welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena versus up and rising Carlos Prates. Banger of a fight, Milton.
100%. Oh my gosh.
We are getting this for not like if this was still in the ESPN market, this is basically for free because we're not getting it on a pay-per-view. This was going to be on a normal card.
Yep.
Which, by the way, why don't they just have every card be like a pay-per-view card? No, just number them all. There's no reason to separate numbers, and they're all for free now, right? All right. Well, I mean, you know what I mean, though. Like,
I get you. You know, I think maybe something will change to that order, but I get why they keep it. It's different, but yeah, Jack Della Maddalena, like you said, former welterweight champion. Carlos Prates, a terrifying guy that doesn't really take MMA serious, in my opinion. But it doesn't matter. This is where you get God-given gifts, and it doesn't matter. I've trained my whole life, and then he comes in and knocks you out.
He's only got one loss in his last 14 fights. He don't give a fuck.
100%. And so this fight is I really hope I don't jinx it, but it is guaranteed fireworks. No matter whom you're going for, obviously it is trying to be framed in a way, could be framed in a way on like hometown redemption, right? Because Jack Della Maddalena is going home. And he needs to redeem himself after that really, really bad, embarrassing loss to Islam. A guy that's coming from a lower weight class and dominated you like that. That's why it was worse. We all know Islam, so we get it. It's not embarrassing, really. But knowing that a lighter guy, quote unquote, came up and did that, he needs redemption. And Carlos Prates has put himself in a position where if he gets a good win, doesn't matter that he just lost to Ian Machado Gary. He can be in line for a title fight. So a lot at stake and a banger of a fight. I could not agree more. Let me ask you, Jose. Let's just knock it down here. As far as breaking down this fight, what do you expect out of this fight? Of course, without saying a winner.
Look, I expect to be a little more uncontrollable disaster. And by mean that is that I think we're gonna see a fight where Jack needs to find himself again. He went in this whole big streak, Milton, where he didn't lose a fight in nearly 10 years. He just got his cheeks clapped from rounds 1 through 5 for 25 minutes. While we say smaller guy, maybe in certain ways, but nonetheless, that's a big fella who trains with bigger fellas. So Jack felt himself in some kind of way going into that fight, and respectfully, he underestimated the new champion.
I think so, 100%.
And that was disrespectful to do, and that's why you're no longer the champion. That's why you're one and done. Now, I feel like the controlled madness that we're going to see in this fight with Prates is that Prates, there was something ignited coming out of the Ian Machado Gary fight. There was something where he realized, bro, I should have won that fight because we saw it late in the fight. I think we maybe have it 1-1 on the scorecards. Or 2-0, and there's a chance for him to finish it.
Correct.
And he doesn't take it. He doesn't pull the trigger. And I felt ever since that moment, he put a bigger chip on his shoulder because what he did to Jeff Neal and to Leon Edwards, the two following fights, really showed that I was like, hey, he's mad. He knows that he can be one of those top guys, and he's flashy enough to where they'll just give him a damn title shot because he's knocking out everyone every chance he gets. This man has 18 knockouts in his MMA career. He doesn't really go to decision. He's gone to decision 4 times. And look, half of those he's lost. Now, Machado Gary is one of them. Machado Gary might be the next in line to get a title shot, sadly enough. which I don't think is right. But anyways, um,
What? That's a different conversation.
but
But
that's I say because there's other contenders. I'm just saying I like Ian. I like Gary.
I think
Well, it
Ian
could
got
also
it.
be because Shavkat's hurt and he can't do anything. So
Right.
and then
I
he
think
beat
Ian got it.
Ian, but well, I mean that'll be fun. But nonetheless, I think Prates has a chip on his shoulder where he is gonna go in looking for more of a redemption and say, "Give me my damn title shot." Now, Jack, he needs to find that patience. He needs to find that control. He needs to make sure he didn't lose who he was in that 10-year undefeated streak. He needs to go back to what got him to the dance in the first place. Can he control the jackrabbit, the nutcracker that is freaking Carlos Prates? That's what I'm really willing to see. Jack can do that. Jack can be patient. Jack can take care of business. We've seen it around with the last few fights with Bilal, Gilbert, and Holland. One problem with those names right now, Milton, one guy already is retired after losing like 10 in a row. The other guy freaking takes 7 fights a year and loses half of them. And the other guy, for whatever reason, never took his opponent to the ground because he thought he was Canelo.
Yeah,
This
Canelo
might
hands.
be this might be his most dangerous fight to where he has where Jack can find himself on the ground unconscious if he is not careful. He's been fighting usually slower guys. Now he's going to be fighting a more explosive guy, and that's where he needs to control that madness.
Ooh, I like that breakdown. And I guess the only question is which fight are we going to get? Because obviously we're not going to get both. It's either going to be quote unquote controlled chaos where Carlos Prates is going to be victor in that kind of fight, or Jack Della Maddalena is going to style on Prates, which we've seen Ian Machado Gary do. Totally different styles, I understand. Machado Gary is much quicker for sure, but Jack also has that boxing prowess to make it very frustrating for a guy in Prates that's probably not going to be used to fighting at the time that they're going to be fighting. Compared to a guy in Jack, again, he's the hometown redemptive guy right there. So
and how early did he get there to adjust to the times?
Right.
And
Did he
get
take
to
that
his
serious?
schedule? And mind you, for the people that don't know, this is only Prates' second 5-round fight. His last one happened to be with Ian Machado Gary. He wasn't used to that kind of, system. Now you're going to across the country from Brazil. You're going to go all the way to different time zone. Sleep's going to be different. The spiders are going to be giant. And so let's
kangaroos are going to show up
they're
every
going
day.
to drop you. They're going to drop you faster. You know what I'm saying?
Square up against kangaroos.
But this is where a real test for Prates will take. Can you handle the 5 rounds? Can you handle it in a different time zone? Can you handle the pressure? Because this, for him, not for JDM, respectfully, for Prates, this is a contendership fight.
100%. This is the eliminator for him.
Yes, this is a title eliminator for him.
And he's styles. If it's stylish, they are going to either A, put him in a rematch against Gary, or B, put him against Michael Morales for the #1 contender fight.
And that's who it is. Michael Morales deserves a title shot more than Ian Machado.
I don't think so.
But that's just me.
Yeah. He beat Sean freaking Brady. Oh, whoop-de-doo. I'm sorry, but
where was he ranked at the time?
Right on. But Ian Gary, I think both of them, if anything, should just, especially if JDM wins, both of them should just fight, and we'll just see how that.
I just think it sucks for Michael. Was Sean Brady his last fight?
Yeah, he beat the brakes off of him. I got you.
I didn't think he had a title eliminator recently. Maybe Prates Morales would make more sense, but
that's what everybody thought that fight was going to be made. It was going to be Prates against Morales, but that obviously didn't happen.
Gotcha.
Going on.
Yeah. Okay, so he just beat Brady, Burns, and Magny. So yeah, he probably does need one more fight to
Of course, that's all I'm saying. Like, he's the young. I get the marketing 100%. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to when they were talking about him against Islam. I get it. I totally get it. But over Ian Gary, it's like I don't see the argument that makes his case strong. But either way, yeah, that doesn't matter in the UFC. But do you want to go into predictions or do you want to keep going off the card?
No, we can go on predictions for this one. I think overall we're gonna see. I do believe what I just said. I do believe that PRATES is gonna be the faster, more crisper fighter that JDM has not really seen in his last few fights.
Sure.
Because he's had a slower Bilal. Canelo Hands is not real. Gilbert Burns is old or tired now. Thank you for your service, brother. You've given a lot of guys wins. And then Kevin Holland, you don't know what Kevin Holland you're going to get that day. And that was a split decision fight. So I think this is going to be a young Jackrabbit fight for PRATES. And I know it hasn't happened in 10 years, but I got PRATES TKO 4th round.
Okay. Man, I'm not
Let
gonna lie.
With that freshly trimmed beard, like, acknowledge it, brother.
Yeah. You make a very compelling argument on that aspect. But with PRATES, it's just so rough to trust him because we've said it. The whole Australia move. Did he actually prepare for that? We know what he does in his off time, even during fights, right? So if that's still a thing, I can't trust a guy like that. I just can't. And JDM is the hometown hero, the hometown. It's going to be a hometown redemptive story. I hear you, and all of that is not just sound, but it makes so much sense, and I could see it. But I got to go with Jack. I definitely think Jack's competition, striking wise, he's never seen nothing like PRATES. And PRATES, I don't think seen anything like Jack, but Leon is a very, very good striker, and he flatlined him. Jeff Neal is a good boxer with power, kind of like JDM. I think JDM is better, and he just flatlined him. So I could totally see your point. But I don't see Jack getting finished, and I think that's the only way PRATES wins. So I'm going to go Jack Della Maddalena, decision win. Yeah, decision win.
That's totally fine, brother. I respect your safe decision because Jack is a former champion. It's not to take away that he is not a rightful former champion.
Sure.
But I feel like since that fight with Gary, where he felt like he had him, and for some reason decided not to pull the trigger, was the biggest regret of his life. Right. To where now I think that he put all that hate on himself to be like, fuck it, I'm never gonna make that decision again. Right. I'm never gonna underestimate that. If he gets one crisp combo to where Jack has his hands down, you know what? If I'm PRATES, and this is great, I don't know how real it'll happen. If it happens, it happens. He's gonna get him on a body shot that's gonna hurt him, and that's where it starts to fall downhill for JDM.
Okay, I could actually see the opposite. I see JDM working PRATES' body, and PRATES not having the cardio whatsoever to sustain him. But it'll be like
very interesting.
Okay, I know it is. This is the fight. I wish I would have broke it down, or I would have added something with you. It's one of the fights that, in recent memory, I am not confident whatsoever in any of either one.
This is the beauty of MMA, of being a fan,
especially main event MMA. This is the beauty of it right here. So
this is two guys where you can go either way. This is what beautiful it is that this is where you don't know who comes out. We're both saying we have one guy over the other, but that's because of technique, that's because of skills, that's because of history. We could be completely wrong, both of us, and something else might fucking come to happen. But that's what's great about these talents right here. PRATES and JDM, two different guys, but they can show out and give us a big banger. This could be fight of the year for all of what we know. But that's how special it is. But let's see where JDM is 6 months after he lost the title. Let's see where PRATES is now going into his first main event since the Ian Machado Gary loss. Let's see how this fight goes. Milton, I wasn't gonna really go and break down every fight because I was only gonna put myself on a time limit here. But is there any
Yeah.
other fight on this card you want to discuss real quick before we close out the show?
No, the only thing I want to say is Benil Dariush has one of the greatest walkout songs of all time, and he's gonna die.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, he dead.
It's
Falcon
so
is gonna
unfortunate.
kill him. Oh my
Gosh.
God, he's gonna kill him.
Like,
Thank
don't
you.
give me.
See you on your way out, brother. Woo!
I would say this: if Dariush is smart, he is going to beat Quaylen on the mat and then submit him because he is susceptible to the takedown. Benil doesn't do that for whatever reason. Unless it's defensive. So, unfortunately, if Benil doesn't wise up,
I'm gonna tell you right now, brother.
gonna die.
Let's pull it out from the former UFC welterweight champion's motto: headshot, dead. That's
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
Damn, it's gonna be tough. But yeah, make
Bye-bye.
sure everybody that is watching or watches this back, please make sure to watch at least this main card. If not the main card, the main event. This main event in Carlos Prates and Jack Della Maddalena is going to be a casual's wet dream. You have to watch this. And make sure you like and subscribe to the Puro Pinche Sports channel. Damn it. That's all I got.
Guys, if you got time to wake up Saturday morning to watch this card,
Yeah.
because
Man,
it starts early in the morning.
6 a.m. main event. Oh my gosh. You
Ooh,
don't
main
but
card at 6 a.m., brother.
we're very entitled and spoiled. So that's why I don't want to complain. So I won't actually. I'll just be quiet.
Oh,
But
man,
I'm not
brother.
happy.
Well, we'll take it as is. It is what it is for now.
Right.
But guys, stay tuned for next week. We'll talk more NBA playoff talk. We'll see all the teams that have advanced to the next round. We'll talk a little more about football. And next week, we will preview the next UFC numbered card. It is Hamzat versus Strickland. It is Joshua Van, the greatest flyweight champion of all time, on a title defense. It is Milton having an
I don't want to
aneurysm
poop on
as
him,
we
man. I
speak.
freaking love Josh Van, and y'all make me. As we'll get to it later. It's all right.
But guys, that's for next week. Like Milton said, like, share, subscribe. Also, go head out to the People's Debate. Go check out Milton's latest video on there. Can we disagree? Answer the question after you watch the video. Leave a
Please.
comment, like, share, subscribe. But guys, thank you for watching. For Milton, for Professor Alex de la Cruz, for the Sports Mailman, Joe Casillas, I am Jose Garza. We are Puro Pinche Sports. We are out.